In 2022, a 22-year-old midfielder, once called Barcelona next Iniesta, left Europe's biggest stage for Major League Soccer. His crime being Lamine Yamal graduated at the wrong time. Meanwhile, a 17-year-old kid just became the youngest player to reach 100 appearances for Barcelona, scored 18 goals in a season, and finished runner-up for the Ballon d'Or. Same club, same academy, completely different outcomes. Today, we are diving into one of football's biggest paradoxes, and how can Barcelona simultaneously have the youngest squad in La Liga and a reputation as a career killer for young talents. Let me paint you in a picture of how bad things got. August 5th, 2021, Barcelona announced that Lionel Messi, the greatest player in their history, is leaving the club. Not because he wanted to, not because another team made a better offer, but because Barcelona literally couldn't afford to register him. Even after Messi agreed to cut his salary by 50%, the club's wage bill would still represent 95% of their total revenue. They were broke. How broke? Try 1.35 billion euros in debt. Their salary cap had collapsed for 671 million to just 97 of single year. Real Madrid the same season, 739 million. Barcelona's was the lowest in La Liga. But here is where it gets brutal for youngest player. When you are hemorrhaging money and can't even register Lionel Messi, you don't have the luxury of patience. You can't afford to develop the talent. You need results right now. Gerard Piqué literally had to reduce his salary to the legal minimum just so the club could register a new signings. 8 senior players were sold in fire sale. The club was activating what they called economic levers, which is a fancy way of saying that they sold 25% of their TV rights for the next 25 years for 667 million euros just to stay afloat. This is a Barcelona that young players were walking into, a club in absolute chaos. Let's talk about Riqui Puig. Lamine Yamal graduate joined the academy in 2013 called Barcelona next Iniesta, but some of the biggest names in football like Gennaro Gattuso watched him in pre-season match and said he got a kid's face, but he has a football inside. It's something that I marvel at. Total first team minutes for Barcelona, which is 1,539. That's the equivalent of barely 74 matches across his entire Barcelona career. Ronald Koeman reportedly told him to go on loan, saying he would like playing time. Puig refused and tried to fight on his spot. It didn't matter. Under multiple managers, he was consistently left out. In 2022, at just 22 years old, he left for La Galaxy in MLS. Then there is Ilaix Moriba. This one stings even more because we now have his confession. January 2021 makes his first team debut. March 2021 scores his first La Liga goal, becoming the 5th youngest scorer in Barcelona history. He played 18 matches that season and 3 assists, more playing time than Riqui Puig got in years. But then came to contract dispute. Barcelona was broke. Remember, they couldn't offer him what other clubs could. In August 2021, he was sold to RB Leipzig for 16 million euros. His career since then, 6 appearances at Leipzig, loans and Venezia and Getafe, where he couldn't establish himself. zero appearances after returning from loan. His market value crashed for 25 million to 3 million euros in 3 years only. And here is the kicker. In February 2025, Moriba admitted, "I made a mistake leaving Barcelona. I was very young and under a lot of pressure." But the most tragic story in Ansu Fati, remember when he was called the next Messi? He made his Barcelona debut at 16, became their youngest ever goal scorer, and he was handed Messi's number 10 shirt in 2021. He has €1 billion release clause in his contract. And when it comes to November 2020, torn meniscus, 4 surgeries, nearly a year out. Since returning, it's been one injury after another, hamstrings, muscles, and last season he was loaned to Brighton. 19 Premier League appearances, only 3 starts this season under Hansi Flick. Just 298 minutes before being loaned to Monaco. At 20 years old, his career is hanging by thread. These were legitimate talents who either left or had their careers drilled. But here is where the story gets weird. As of September 2024, Barcelona had the youngest squad in La Liga, and the average age was 24 years old. And it's not just about having young players on the roster. 3 names prove Barcelona can still be ultimate launching pad, like Lamine Yamal, Pedri and Gavi. And now let's start with phenomenon. This is Lamine Yamal. April 2023, debuts at 15 years and 9 months, youngest player ever to represent Barcelona. Fast forward today, he is 17 years old with 18 goals and 21 assists this season was under Hansi Flick. He won the Cuba Trophy as the best U21 player in the world. He won a Euro 2024 with Spain and was named Young Player of the tournament. He finished second in the 2025 Ballon d'Or voting at age 18. He became the youngest player to appear at Euros, the youngest to score at the Euros, and he has more goal contributions in Champions League history for players 18 or younger than Kylian Mbappe. His contract has a €1 billion payout clause. Hansi Flick called him a genius and said this talent only comes every 15 years. Then there is Pedri signed from Las Palmas for just €5 million in 2020. Right in the middle of financial crisis, he immediately became one of Barcelona's standout performers, won the Golden Boy Award and Cuba Trophy, and has a €1 billion release clause. He just extended his contract until 2030. Also, when it comes to Gavi, who made his debut at 17 years and 24 days in August 2021. Literally weeks after Messi left, he won both Cuba Trophy and Golden Boy Award, became Spain's youngest ever international until Yamal broke his record, and played at 2020 World Club despite suffering a serious ACL injury in November 2023. He returned strong and also extended his contract until 2030. So, what is the difference? Why did Yamal, Pedri and Gavi succeed while Puig and Moriba and Fati struggled or failed? Here is uncomfortable reality. The success stories succeeded despite the chaos, not because of it. Think about it. Between 2020 and 2025, Barcelona has 6 different managers. Valverde, Zidane, Koeman, Barcelona as interim, Xavi, and now Hansi Flick. That's new managers, almost every year, each with different philosophies, different preferences, and different systems. When Xavi was asked to stay in April 2024 after announcing he would leave, he agreed. 1 month later, he was sacked. He had called the cruel and unpleasant. The financial crisis created a viscous cycle. Financial pressure meant they needed instant results, which meant they preferred expensive veteran signings, which is plugged youth development, which is frustrated younger talents, who then left or stagnated, which hurt the club's reputation, which created more financial pressure. Between 2017 and 2019, Barcelona spent around €428 million in just three players, Coutinho and Dumbo and Griezmann. All three massively underperformed. That money could have funded youth development for years. The players who made it through had to have extraordinary, undeniable talent. Yamal's ability is so exceptional that managers literally couldn't justify leaving him on the bench. Pedri was so good immediately that he became undroppable. Gavi's intensity and skill forced his way into the team. But for every Yamal, there is a Puig who got lost in the shuffle. For every Pedri, there is a Moriba who made the wrong choice under pressure. For every Gavi, there is an Ansu Fati whose body broke down under the weight expectation. So, is Barcelona a career killer for young talent? Yes and no. So, if you are good, you will get opportunities. Barcelona still had the youngest squad in La Liga and just won domestic treble under Hansi Flick with teenagers playing key roles. But if you are not absolutely exceptional, you would need time to develop. If you make one wrong decision during a contract negotiation, or if your body can't handle the pressure, Barcelona's recent history shows it can absolutely derail your career. The club's financial situation is improving. The youngest squad in La Liga is real. Hansi Flick's successful integration of youth is promising, but the long-term consequences of this economic levers, selling 25% of TV rights for 25 years, or are still unknown. Barcelona isn't a career killer, but it's not a career maker either. It's a high-stakes gamble where the rewards are massive, but the risks are just as real. So, what do you think? Are Barcelona's youth revival sustainable, or are you just seeing another temporary cycle before the next crisis? Let me know in the comments below.